Hello students. In this lecture, we will be continuing the discussion about the analysis of beams by stiffness matrix method. We'll discuss more cases for the beam, and we'll discuss how we'll analyze it by using stiffness matrix method. The concept and the base of analysis by using this method we have already discussed in the previous lecture. We have discussed various steps that is involved in the analysis of beam by using the stiffness matrix method. Let me give a quick uh, review about the various steps. First of all, we'll calculate the kinematic determinacy of any beam. Then we'll select the coordinates according to the determinacy, and we'll assign the coordinates. Then in the next step we'll convert all the released joints to the fully restrained joints, and we'll convert the structure into the fully restrained structures. Then we'll calculate the joint forces. That is, we'll form a FL matrix. So if coordinate directions are 2, then we'll calculate FL1 and FL2 accordingly. Then we'll apply a unit load or a unit displacement, sorry, in the fully restrained structure, and accordingly we'll find all the components of a stiffness matrix. That is, for example, in this case, that I've took an example for 2 coordinates. Then the components of the stiffness matrix will be K11, K12, K21, and K22. Uh, then we'll see if there is any force applied on the joint, say joint in coordinate direction 1 and joint in coordinate direction 2. And accordingly, we'll get the value of F1 and F2, and that will complete the F matrix. We'll substitute all these values, that is K matrix, F matrix, FL matrix, into the equilibrium equation, and we'll calculate the final delta 1 and delta 2, that is delta matrix or final displacement components that we are needed to required to calculate. Then by knowing the final rotation displacements in coordinate direction 1 and coordinate direction 2, we'll substitute in the slope deflection equation, and we'll get the final end moments. So this is how we'll proceed. Let us take an example. Myself, Shubhranshu Jaiswal, Assistant Professor, Bibri University, Lucknow. So this is a case of beam. This is a kind of continuous beam having a overhang at CD. So we'll be analyzing this beam using the displacement method. As we know that displacement method is also called equilibrium method, also called the stiffness matrix. So in this case, this beam is having a fixed support at A, intermediate support of roller support at B, again another roller support at C, and CD is a overhang portion. Point load of 45 kilonewton is acting in the span AB. UDL of 40 kilonewton per meter is acting in the span BC, and a point load of 30 kilonewton is acting at in the span CD at point D. So basically, in order to analyze it, we'll do the same thing simpler. We'll make the things more simple by converting this 30 kilonewton load into a moment, and moment at C will be 30 multiplied by 2, that is 60 kilonewton meter. So we'll apply convert this into a moment at C, and the equivalent beam for this will be like this. So this is what we have applied, a 60 kilonewton meter moment due to this load at here, and we have applied this moment over here. Now, in this case, again, we can see that we have to select 2 coordinates, that is coordinate 1 and coordinate 2. Coordinate 1 will be at B, and coordinate 2 will be at C. So after selecting the coordinates, we have to convert it into a fully restraight structure. So and B will become fixed. Also that C will become fixed. See here, A it was already fixed. B we have converted to a fully restrained structure. Also C we have converted to a fixed. Now this is a fully restrained beam for the previous beam. We'll calculate the fixed end moment, that is MFAB. MFAB will be due to this point load, that is 45 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 4 square, because this beam was not this was not acting on the middle. So this is say A, this is say B, and this A plus B will be equals to 6. A is 2, B is 4. So this will be minus 45 multiplied by 2, 4 square by 6 square. This is minus 40 kilonewton meter. Similarly, MFBA will be 20 kilonewton meter. Only the value of A and B will change over here. MFBC will be MFBC for this UDL 40 kilonewton per meter will be WL square by 12, that is minus 53.33 kilonewton meter, and MFCB will be 53.33 kilonewton meter. Now FL matrix will constitute of F1L and F2L. F1L is here. This is due to MFBA and MFBC. MFBA was 20 and MFBC was minus 53. This comes to be minus 33.33. Similarly, FL2 or F2L is this. This is due to MFCB. MFCB was 53.33. That comes to be 53.33. So FL matrix completes over here. Now, now in this case, the F matrix is having a certain value, because we know that for F matrix, if any if any load or moment is applied on in coordinate direction 1 or 2, we will take simply the value for the same. In coordinate direction 1, nothing was applied, so it was 0, but in coordinate direction 2, a 60 kilonewton meter moment was applied. So we'll simply put the value of F2 is equals to 60. I think this should be clear to everyone. So the stiffness matrix method, we'll calculate the stiffness matrix method. In the previous question, we have already calculated the stiffness matrix components. So we'll simply put the values over here. In the previous class, the question that we have solved, and the value of K11, this was K11 was calculated as 7 upon 3 EI. K12 is equals to K21 and was calculated to be 0.5 upon EI. And the value for K22 was simply EI. So we have put all these stiffness components into this matrix, and that completes the stiffness matrix. That completes the stiffness matrix. Now we'll put all these things into the equilibrium equation, that is K matrix multiplied by displacement matrix, that is equals to force matrix minus force FL matrix. So we know the value F1 was 0, F2 was 60, F1L was minus 33, and F2L was minus 53.33. This portion of K matrix will go to this side, and this will the inverse matrix. We'll calculate the inverse as we know, that is 1 upon EI will be 1 upon 22.333 multiplied by 1, that is this, minus 0.5 multiplied by 0.5, that is square. Uh, in the interior of this matrix, these diagonals will interchange and these diagonal will change the sign. So 1.1 will be here and 2.333 will be here. Also, this becomes minus 0.5 and this becomes minus 0.5 as well. This was the inverse of this matrix multiplied by 33.33, 6.67 matrix. On solving, on getting the product of these two matrices, we will get the value, final value, that is 1 upon EI, 14.402 minus 0.533. That means that says theta b, because this one, just a second, this was theta b and this was theta c, because we have already seen that this was a beam, this was, sorry, a fully restrained beam, this was A, this was B, and this was C. We have selected the coordinate direction 1 as B and selected the coordinate direction 2 as C. So theta B will be delta 1, theta B is equals to delta 1, and theta C will be delta, that is final displacement in coordinate direction 2. So this is the value for delta 1 and this is the value for delta 2. So delta 1 will be 14.402, that is equals to theta B, and delta 2 will be equals to minus 0.533, that is equals to theta C. So we can finally write this thing, that is theta B is equals to 14.402 upon EI and theta C is equals to minus 0.533 upon EI. Now we'll put the value of theta B and theta C into the final slope deflection equation, that says MAB is equals to minus 40. Minus 40 was the fixed end moment. We have calculated this. Then plus 2EI multiplied by 2I upon 6. This is the final things, because delta C was 0, no settlement in this case. Delta C will be 0. That gives the value of MAB, that is moment at A, fixed end moment at AB, that is minus 30.40 kilonewton. Similarly, MBA is 20. This 20 is MFBA. We have calculated MFBA is equals to 20. So this is a 20 plus 2EI upon 4EI, sorry, 4EI upon 6. This will come 39.20 kilonewton meter. Similarly, MBC will be minus 53.33. This minus 53.33 again is MFCB, MFBC, that is minus 53.33 kilonewton meter. We have calculated. We'll put value over here, and the value of our MBC will comes out to be minus 39.2 kilonewton meter. Now similarly, MFCB will be 53.33. This again we have calculated 53.33 plus 2EI upon 4, and this value comes to be 60 kilonewton. So this is how we have calculated all these final moments, and the analysis of for this beam completes. One thing we need to remember in this case, two things we have seen the different from the previous case. First was we have converted simply this point load into moment, and due to this moment, the value for the F2 comes out to be 60. In this case, the value for F1 was 0, but value for F2 was 60. For example, if there was another moment applied in the coordinate direction 1 at point adjoint B, and the value for B, value for F1 will be of that. For example, let me explain you. For example, in coordinate direction 1 at point B, clockwise movement of 80 kilonewton meter was applied, then the value for here was, sorry, this is 80, would have been 80. But in this case, no such moment is applied, so the value for the F1 will be 0. So this is how we complete the analysis for this beam, and we'll discuss some other cases in the upcoming lecture. So thank you, class.